Drake's social media nostalgia posts versus Rocky's album dominance, the numbers tell a devastating story. We're breaking down how ASAP Rocky's Stole Your Flow became Drake's worst nightmare since Kendrick, why Rihanna's involvement makes it unrecoverable, and the pathetic response that proves Drake knows he's lost. Drop a comment predicting Drake's next move. Will he stay silent, drop a weak response, or try to change the conversation entirely? Let's talk about how ASAP Rocky just created the most devastating Drake diss since Kendrick Lamar literally ended this man's career in 2024. Stole Your Flow isn't just a song, it's a cultural reset, a funeral announcement, and a victory lap all wrapped into one absolutely unhinged banger. The track combines everything you want in a diss: aggressive production, quotable bars that'll live in group chats forever, and personal jabs that hit so close to home, Drake probably felt them in his soul. What makes this different from your average beef track is that Rocky didn't just come with bars. He came with a whole dissertation on why Drake is a failure as a friend, a fumbler in love, and honestly, just kind of pathetic when you really think about it. The song literally morphs from a club banger into Drake's personal nightmare. That's artistry. The hook on Stole Your Flow is so disrespectful that it's already become a meme, a TikTok sound, and honestly, just the official Drake slander anthem of 2026. Rocky didn't just write a catchy chorus, he created a phrase that will haunt Drake every time he opens social media, steps outside, or literally tries to exist in peace. Calling someone sensitive and in their feelings while literally referencing Drake's own song title, that's the kind of multi-layered shade that makes you pause the track and say, wait, he did not just do that? The brilliance is in how it's simultaneously a banger you can't help but bob your head to, while also being the most humiliating thing you could say about someone who built their entire brand on being too cool to care. Rocky took Drake's own playbook and used it to absolutely demolish him. The cultural impact alone makes this hook legendary. Now here's where things went from bad to absolutely catastrophic for Drake. Rihanna herself decided to join the pile-on, and it's honestly the most brutal thing that's happened in this beef. When Rihanna commented on Rocky's diss track on social media, she didn't just co-sign it, she essentially told the entire world that she's laughing at Drake's expense and living her best life while doing it. For Drake, this has to be soul crushing because we're talking about the woman he's been obsessed with for over a decade, the one that got away, the fumble he's never forgiven himself for. Rihanna could have stayed quiet, could have remained neutral, but instead she chose chaos and publicly endorsed her man, humiliating her ex. The message is clear. She's Team Rocky. She thinks the disses are funny, and Drake can literally do nothing about it. Rocky didn't stop at just humiliating Drake over Rihanna. He went full territorial and basically said, "I'll take your new home state too," on the track No Trespassing. The line about moving to Texas and shutting down trespassers is aimed directly at Drake, who literally became a Texas resident trying to escape his Toronto losses. Rocky's essentially saying he could pull up to Drake's new safe space, get more love there than Drake ever could, and Drake wouldn't do anything about it. This is next level disrespect because it's not just about the past anymore. Rocky's threatening Drake's present and future. The confidence to say you'll dominate someone in their own adopted city while you've already got their dream girl. That's the kind of audacity that makes people rewind the track. Drake's running out of places to hide. Here's what Drake did when Rocky dropped the biggest diss album since Kendrick ended him. Absolutely nothing of substance, just sad social media spiraling. Instead of dropping music or responding with bars, Drake posted nostalgic Instagram stories about Majid Jordan singing "Hold On, We're Going Home" from 2013. The timestamp deep into the night when Rocky's album was trending worldwide and everyone was clowning him. This is the same man who used to confidently troll opponents on social media. Now he's reminiscing about when people actually liked him. The desperation is genuinely embarrassing to witness, and the internet has all the screenshots. The Majid Jordan post gets weirder when you realize ASAP Rocky literally co-starred in the "Hold On, We're Going Home" music video in 2013. Drake posting this specific song at this specific moment after Rocky humiliated him? Not a coincidence. And internet detectives are theorizing wildly. Either Drake was sending cryptic subliminals only Rocky and Rihanna would understand, or his broken brain was yearning for the past so desperately he accidentally made things worse. Reminding everyone Rocky was there during your glory days while he's currently living your dream life? Not strategic. Fans are decoding hidden meanings, but the reality is sadder. Drake's just lost and grasping at better times. The cope is absolutely real. Speaking of that music video, let's talk about the absolutely delicious irony of Drake posting about a track where Rocky appeared alongside him during happier times. Back in 2013, these two weren't enemies. They were collaborators, they ran in similar circles, and the future looked bright for both. Fast forward to 2026, and Rocky's the one with the empire. The beautiful family with Rihanna, the critically acclaimed album, the respect of the hip-hop community, and the confidence to publicly destroy Drake without breaking a sweat. Drake scrolling through old videos trying to remember when he wasn't the biggest joke in rap. The contrast is genuinely staggering when you think about how their trajectories diverged. Rocky leveled up in every aspect of life, while Drake somehow managed to fumble everything that mattered. That's the real story here. If you're still watching this absolute mess unfold, smash that like button, because Drake stans are about to crash out in the comments defending the indefensible, and we need support to keep exposing the truth. Subscribe for more on how this beef develops, because trust me, it's only getting messier from here. Here's what makes Drake's response even more pathetic. Rocky announced the release date over a month in advance, giving Drake all the time in the world to prepare. Drake knew January 16th was coming, knew Rocky had been cooking disses since Drake started this in 2023 with For All the Dogs and Scary Hours 3. He had 30 plus days to write bars, book studio sessions, plan a strategic rollout, or prepare some competent response. Instead, Instagram stories about Majid Jordan and 2013 clips. That's not being calculated or playing chess. That's being completely unprepared because you genuinely didn't believe you could compete. Drake fumbled with every advantage. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Where is Drake's Iceman album that was supposedly going to save his career and restore his reputation? For weeks, there were rumors, speculation, and fan theories that Drake might drop on the same day as Rocky to try and overshadow the moment or at least compete for attention. Drake could have been petty, could have pulled a classic industry move and tried to sabotage Rocky's rollout by flooding the market with his own music. But January 16th came and went. Rocky's album dominated the conversation, and Drake was nowhere to be found except scrolling Instagram. The silence on Iceman speaks to a deeper truth. Drake either doesn't have the material to compete, or he's genuinely scared of going head-to-head with Rocky right now. Either explanation is absolutely terrible for someone who claims to be at the top. Before Drake stans rewrite history, claiming Rocky randomly attacked their king, let's get the timeline clear. Drake started this in 2023 on For All the Dogs and Scary Hours 3. Drake took shots at Rocky and Rihanna, throwing disrespectful bars like he was untouchable. He initiated the beef thinking he could bully Rocky without consequences, assuming Rocky wouldn't respond or couldn't compete. Fast forward to 2026, and Rocky proved patience is a weapon. He let Drake run his mouth, watched Kendrick humiliate him, waited for the perfect moment, then delivered a response so devastating Drake can't formulate a comeback. Rocky didn't start this, but he's finishing it brutally. The hip-hop community's reaction tells you everything about where Drake stands culturally, and it's terrible. Social media is flooded with people praising Rocky's disses, making memes about Drake's pathetic response, and celebrating his downfall with zero sympathy. This isn't like previous beefs where Drake had loyal defenders arguing his points. The Kendrick situation damaged his reputation so severely that when Rocky came with more ammunition, the culture collectively decided they're done with Drake's era. Artists, influencers, fans, everyone's picking Rocky not just because the music is better, but because Drake's genuinely unlikable after years of arrogant behavior catching up. When hip-hop turns on you like this, there's no recovery. Let's be brutally honest about Drake's options. They're limited and everyone is risky. He could drop a diss track, but after staying silent this long, anything he releases looks desperate and reactionary rather than confident. He could keep ignoring it, but that confirms he's scared and cements his L permanently. He could drop Iceman to change the conversation, but Rocky's disses will overshadow it and people will compare quality unfavorably. Even if Drake crafted the perfect response with devastating bars, Rihanna's involvement means he's already lost on a personal level music can't fix. There's no winning move when your opponent has everything. Drake's genuinely checkmated. Here's what makes this more brutal. Rocky's not done, and his victory lap is just starting. The album rollout continues, more tracks gain traction daily, and Rocky's clearly enjoying watching Drake squirm in silence. Hints suggest more content is coming. Music videos, promotional appearances, or additional shots at Drake in interviews. Rocky's in his element, riding momentum of critical acclaim and commercial success while humiliating his rival effortlessly. Drake's stuck in damage control with no clear strategy except hoping people forget, which isn't happening when Rihanna's actively participating in the mockery. The gap between where these two are mentally and culturally is astronomical and widening as Rocky's moment continues. Rocky set the tone for the year, dominated the conversation, and proved that patience and quality always win over desperation and nostalgia. If you want to see what happens next in this mess, because you know Drake might try something stupid in retaliation, or if you want more coverage on Rocky's continued victory lap and how the culture reacts to all this, make sure you're subscribed and check out the next video where we break down how Rocky's album is performing and what the long-term implications are for Drake's already destroyed career.